So at the Planetary Health Equity Hothouse, we pay attention to the consumptogenic system. What's the consumptogenic system, I hear you say? The consumptogenic system is the web of actors, of institutions, of policies, of commercial activities, of norms that incentivizes, rewards the excessive extraction, production, consumption of natural resources, and particularly fossil fuel-based goods and services. These are really bad for the environment, and they're also very bad for human health. The consumptogenic system is also a system that extracts wealth. It concentrates wealth, and we know that the concentration of wealth concentrates power, and a concentration of power leads to a policy and a regulatory environment that allows the consumptogenic system to carry on.
A concept relevant to planetary health equity is how power is distributed in food systems. When it comes to power, I'm interested in how civil society organisations are involved in food system governance to promote a planetary health equity aligned agenda. This matters because current industrial food systems are dominated by corporate concentration, are ecologically unsustainable, are damaging human health, and are socially unjust. There's a fascinating opportunity to watch governance processes at the moment in Australia as the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestries is developing a national food security strategy. Many civil society organisations and experts are concerned about conflicts of interest with large agribusiness interests around the central table on the National Food Council, while other voices are only in peripheral spaces, if at all.
So the concept I want to talk about today is policy paradigm shifts. Now, we've had a lot of incremental change trying to deal with major problems like climate change, inequality, health inequities, and so forth, but they haven't gotten us very far. So a lot of people are calling for policy paradigm shifts, and that's what I research. More specifically, I research different pathways to policy paradigm shifts, and we've uncovered 10 different pathways, including ideationally driven paradigm shifts, imposed paradigm shifts, and politically constructed paradigm shifts. Now, if you want to find out more about that, please do have a look at our research.
When you think about power, you probably think about politicians, CEOs, or some of the people who've built these huge buildings that surround us. But power is something that we actually all possess, that we can all use to influence the world around us. That's what my research is interested in. I'm examining the way power, in its different types, forms, and spaces, is being used to currently influence the politics of planetary health equity in Australia.
Hi everyone! I'm really interested in a thing called the consumptogenic system and its outcomes for planetary health equity. The consumptogenic system is a series of norms, institutions, ideas, organisations. It's made up of business practices, of government policies that rely on extractive economic activities to self-perpetuate. My research is focused on the wellbeing economy, which situates people and planetary health outcomes at the centre of economic activity as a way of moving through the consumptogenic system, changing the consumptogenic system.
When I say knowledge, what do you think? Maybe sitting in a library, like the one behind me, under piles of books? But knowledge, actually, it's much more than that. And it's a very complex concept. But in reality, it's basically what do we know about the world, but also how we come to know about it. And knowledge can be a lot of different things. It can come from research, as we do at a hothouse, but it can also come from lived experience and also the long history of learning, like indigenous knowledge. Now, in my research, I'm really interested in understanding what philanthropic organizations are prioritized in terms of knowledge. What do they think is more important? And this is something interesting because philanthropic organizations historically have been funding a lot of research and a lot of projects on the ground that generate knowledge. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters because knowledge informs how we decide to do things in society. The policy that governments put together and, the way that we organize society, knowledge come into play and really inform how we do things. So it's really important to understand what type of knowledge we draw from. So what type of knowledge we use or not use, of course, has an impact on people and planet.
Have you stumbled across an environmental claim lately? Bio, recyclable, clean, or green? Chances are you've encountered greenwashing. Greenwashing, or the deceptive portrayal of environmental properties, is perennial across products, services, and industries, as well as a marker of the consumptogenic system. This matters for planetary health equity because false and superficial solutions delay, distract, and discredit real climate action, increasing the environmental burden on those already most affected. When it comes to regulation, though, greenwashing tells us not only what is unsound, but also what deserves fixing. And this is exactly what I explore in my research in the food sector, examining shifts in labeling schemes, reporting, and monitoring. Short-term, strong regulation means green claims that are verifiable and accountable. Long-term, it gets us closer to the just transitions needed across businesses, public policy, and civil society. More on this research is available on our website.